my dears, and welcome back to my corner of the internet. I'm Shannon, and tonight we have another book talk video to share with you guys. And I'm not in my normal filming space. I'm at my friend's house, pet sitting for her. This is one of them, this hobo back here. And there's a couple kittens all around. Anyway, while I was here, I finished reading this book. I didn't expect to finish it tonight, but I did, and I had to come talk to you guys about it while it was still fresh in my mind. And today we were talking about Our Wives Under the Sea by Julia Armfield. Now, this book came out in 2022. I'd heard people talking about it all the time, and it was on my TBR forever, but I never quite got around to it until this year. I bought a copy for my daughter for Christmas, because the more I heard about it, I was like, she's gonna love this. So I bought her a copy, and then she started reading it a couple weeks ago, and then when she started reading it, I wanted to read it. I was getting FOMO, you know. It's like, well, I should also be reading this. And so I did. And wow, what a weird little story this was. Since this is a book talk, there will be spoilers. I'll give you a warning before we get into them. But a lot of this book is like high vibes, low plot, which I do love. So in the spoilers, you know, there's not gonna be a ton to talk about, but we still will do it. Anyway, so basically what we have here is the story of Miri and Leah, and they are married. And from what I can gather, they live in the UK. And Leah is a, I don't even know if her job title is ever given, but what she does is, or what she's doing when we jump into the book is, she's going on a sort of exploratory mission in a submarine to sort of just observe what they see when they get down there. And so she goes on this mission, and she's supposed to be gone for 3 weeks, but it ends up being months. And then when the book starts, we're meeting Mira and Leah has just come home from this expedition, but she's not quite right. She's not the same as she was before she went down under the water. And it's a story, like I said, it's low plot, high vibes, and the vibes are immaculate. The writing is so beautiful. It's so beautiful. There were so many times I had to write down things that I read because of how beautiful they were. And that said, it's also very sad. And as the book goes on, we're getting Miri's point of view in the present as Leah has come home. But we're also getting stories and flashbacks from Miri to Leah as a person before she went on this expedition. And then from the chapters that are Leah's point of view, we're getting to see what happened when she was under the water, more than anything. And we're learning about her that way. And all of the chapters are very short, which I love. But like each chapter is like a little puzzle piece that puts together a full picture of who Miri is and who Leah is and who they were together. And I think it's really beautiful. But like I said, it's sad. It's sad. It's beautiful. It's humorous in parts. And I thought it was a really sweet, weird little story. And I really loved it. So that's about all I can say without getting into spoilers, even though, as I just said, it's going to be hard enough as is to even go into spoilers. But here we go. So if you don't want to hear them, now's the time to click away. I guess before you go, I'm trying to think of what the genre for this book would be. I guess definitely literary fiction. I wouldn't call it horror, although there are some things that start happening to Leah's body when she comes back on the land. That are uncomfortable. I'd say it's unsettling. It's literary fiction, but it's also unsettling. It's a short read. It's like 280 pages, and I would definitely recommend Would definitely recommend. So, okay, spoilers. Basically, what you have here is a story, and it's so heartbreaking. There were multiple times where I found myself tearing up, and a few times where I like full on cried. It's so as Leah is back on land, she's not the same person that she was at all, and she's very disconnected from everything that's going on. She just kind of wanders around the house muttering to herself, constantly running the taps. Like, Mary's like, how are we going to pay for this water bill? Like, she's thinking to herself, like, we are never going to financially recover from whatever this water bill is going to be. But at the same time, she knows that Leah can't control it. Like, if this is what Leah is currently doing, it's because this is what Leah needs to be doing. And she feels like it's a stranger in her house. And over time, she has periods where she sees the glimpses of the old Leah. And they'll be having an interaction. And she'll be like, this is my Leah. She's briefly back. As Leah's talking about, like, she'll just say something that harkens back to something that they did together or saw together or watched together, you know? And it's this slow-paced story of Leah becoming more and more, or I should say less and less human and more of the sea, until eventually we reach the end. And it's where Mary, the names are getting tangled up in my mouth. Leah is the wife under the sea. Mary is the one. So it's just kind of building and building. Like, it starts off with the running of the taps, but then Leah starts needing to be in the bathtub all the time. And then it starts like all the time, 60% of the day, 70% of the day, until finally Leah's not leaving this bathtub at all. And it just, and then the end comes when Leah was down in the submarine, she was with two people, Mateo and Yelka, and Yelka dies when they're down there. She literally just lets herself out of the hatch, because what happens, well, we don't really know what happened. We know what we're told has happened. So when they were descending into the water, something went wrong. They lost power. They start sinking. But there's like unlimited food. They never run out of food. And they start to get paranoid. Like, is this an experiment? Like, are we not on an observation mission? But like, maybe we're the ones being observed. We're not the ones to do the observing, but we're the ones being observed. Because shortly after Jelka, the other woman in the expedition, she lets herself out of the escape hatch eventually. She can't take it anymore. She's like, I keep hearing things and seeing things and hearing voices. And she's very religious. And she has this thing where she read in the Bible when she was a kid that if you see something speaking to you, it's not a ghost. Ghosts don't speak. It's like a demon. And so she's very concerned with whatever's speaking to her. And the rest of them, they can't hear it. They cannot hear it. So eventually she lets herself go. And then it's shortly after that the lights come back on and they're able to go back to the surface. So it makes you think, like Leah thought, like, oh, they are out here watching us. And then once one of them literally dies by letting themselves out into the ocean, they're like, okay, that's enough. Pull them up. And yeah, so anyway, the story ends with Mary bringing Leah to her mom's old home, because her mom has died, which we learn about as the story goes on. And she enlists the help of Yuna, who was Yelka's sister, who had reached out to her recently and was like, my sister died on that thing. Like, I need to talk to you and tell you about what was going on down there. So we don't get that. Like, Yuna's trying to tell Mary about it, but like, Mary's like, I can't hear it. So we don't get to hear it. And even the things that she did hear, we don't get to hear. So it's like, we never fully learn what anyone knows about anything, which is fine because it doesn't matter. Like, that's not the point. The point is this the point is this beautiful relationship coming to this end, as with Yuna's help, Miri brings Leah to the ocean and lets her go, because her body has been changing. Like her skin, the more time she's been spending in the bathtub, her skin is changing. One of her eyes is like damaged beyond repair. It kind of turned into a globe of water and then burst. And so she lets her go back to where she needs to go. And it's just this beautiful, sad story. And as like weird as it might sound, like to hear it talked about, it's also like an allegory for like dealing with a chronic or terminal illness, or like caring for someone with a chronic or terminal illness. And it's like that losing of them, the way that you, as you know, if you've ever lost a loved one or are caring for a loved one with an incurable disease, like the way that things change, the way that your interactions with each other change, the way they change, the way you change. And it was just such a beautiful story. And I loved it, and it's 5 stars for me. So there you go. That's all I'm going to say about it tonight. Before we go, I'll show you Hobo real quick, because he's just so cute. And the kitties are so cute, but I can show you them too. They're both here sleeping. Okay. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, leave any kind of ocean emoji, a mermaid, a wave, anything. And now let me go and show you the kitties and Hobo. Since it's like, I don't know, 10 o'clock, they're all sleeping. So I'm going to show you them very quietly. So this is Hobo, and he's having a little snooze. And then over here, we have Cypher, and he is having a little snooze. And then over here, we have Klaus, and he is, or she, sorry. Cypher's a she, and Klaus is a she. She is having a little snooze. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.